Hey there, and thanks for watching. Today is the last day of April, which means that vlog every day in April is officially coming to an end. But here's the thing, I don't want to stop. I love interacting with you guys, and I feel like that is bringing me closer to my goals, and I hope that's inspiring you to bring you closer to your goals. So I'm going to keep on going for as long as I possibly can, and hopefully kind of expand the content that I bring you and make it a little bit more interesting. So I thank you so much for continuing to watch. And with that, I'm going to jump right into my May budget preview. So I try to do this every month on paper on purpose. For the purposes of this video, it's going to be on a spreadsheet, but I also have it written down in my budget notebook, which is just a regular notebook where I write out, have my goals for 2019. And then I just write down on a piece of paper what I have written in my spreadsheet. Sometimes it's just easier to flip to it and see it on paper rather than opening up your computer. So this is on the screen you'll see, and I don't know why in my recap why I didn't say the numbers out loud. There was no reason for that. So I do realize, because sometimes I just watch videos on autoplay and I'll be doing something else. So I will try to say the numbers out loud so you can hear them. I have no problem sharing my real numbers with you. So starting at the top, I have my anticipated income from my day job, and that's $3,500. I also have, this is sort of one of the first months that I'm including the additional income that I earn from my side hustles, namely teaching private lessons and teaching with a studio in town. So I have included that. So for private lessons, I get paid in cash. I drive to their house and I teach a young gentleman. I've taught him for 3 years, and the family gives me $30 cash for a half hour, and I usually stay longer because he's just a joy to work with. So I'm anticipating roughly seeing him 3 times this month, and that's $90. And to be honest, that usually becomes my gas fund, which is perfect. And then I anticipate roughly $360 from my private lessons, which, to be honest, for the amount of time to get there and just the time that I spend there, the time and energy and effort, it doesn't really seem worth it. So I call it volunteering because A, I wasn't getting paid super regularly, and B, it's just not a lot. So my hourly rate there is what I make for a half hour when I teach privately. So it doesn't usually work out for me financially, but I love doing it, so I'm going to keep doing it, and it's an income regardless. So that is what I anticipate to make from my side hustles. I am also actively working to get more side hustles going, so that's where that is. This is my total income projected is $39.50. So that is what I have projected to be coming in. Scrolling down to my fixed expenses. For May, housing is set at $1,000, and these are expenses that don't typically move throughout the month. Utilities, our total is $330. My phone is $49, which I'm on a pay-as-you-go monthly plan, no contract, and that's probably one of the cheapest for the amount of data that I have. So I'm happy to do that. Healthcare, I'm paying $130. My immediate savings, I'm putting aside $200 this month. My tithe is $300, and my student loan auto payment is $130. The thing with these expenses is, aside from my housing, which I write a check for, all of these expenses are auto-debited as of this month, which is fantastic, meaning I can just set it and forget it, which, to be honest, is what I would love to do with all of my expenses and my income, to be fair. I would just love to have everything automated. That would be my ultimate goal. So I'm really happy that I'm working toward this. I just finally put the 2 big utility payments, my gas and electric, on auto debit. So this is the first month that they're going to come out of my account automatically. So super excited about that. I feel like by little increments, I'm getting to where I want to be. So those are my fixed expenses for May. The variable expenses in the peach right here, these are things that I do have some control over, meaning if I need to cut or shift things around, I can usually can do that. So I can also, if I need to, these would be the things that I take out in cash. However, I really am only going to have 2 cash envelopes, and that's going to be for gas and groceries, and that's it. Personal care, food out, additional things, those are nice, and I may do that, but again, I find that if I have cash, I tend to spend it, so I really want to keep it clean and as minimal as possible. So for gas, I've allocated $150. I spent $140 last month, so That should be right on target. Groceries, I have 200. I did really well last month. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I'm proud of that. Last month I only spent like 70 bucks on groceries, so I like keeping it low. Personal care, I'm spending 80, and that's going to be like my weekly money. I'm going to give myself 20 bucks a week. Transportation, I'm not putting anything in this category. Food out is 150. I have meetings with friends and a party to go to. Additional 150, we have Mother's Day and then a friend's baby shower, and that brings us to a subtotal of 730. So that's a total expenses, including my fixed and my variable, are $2,869. So scrolling down to the ad hoc or additional expenses, so you'll see I have remaining about $1,000. These are things that come up in the month and vary from month to month. So for this month, for example, now that it's May and the sun is shining and the grass is growing, I get to pay for lawn care. So I'm allocating $200 a month for that. We have a lawn guy that comes with like one of those ride-on mowers, and he just like zips through. He came today. The place looks great. I finally paid off my bill from last year. My goal is to not carry a balance on that. He charges $35 each time he comes. And to be honest, like you can't get much cheaper than that. $35 is great. So I think it will probably only be about 140, but I'm going to try to prepay him, A, and number two, and B, try to see if he can do like a fertilizer or a weed killer or a cleanup or something, because our lawn looks terrible because we just haven't been paying. We've been paying for the bare minimum, and that's like a cut. So I'm going to try to see if we can take a little bit better care of our lawn this year, with the goal to increase the value of the house, because that's ultimately the plan. So that's the plan. While I'm allocating $200 in lawn care, $200 for therapy, and then $100 for car expenses. So in this month, what I did as well was I looked back on the previous 2 years of May. And so May 2018 and May 2017, and this is the month when I typically have some car expenses come up. So things like, I don't really think oil change, but I think for sure, things like, I don't know, I don't even want to say anything out loud. Like, I know I need a tune-up. I know I need an alignment. I know I will probably need my brakes. My struts need to be done, but I'm not getting my struts done on a 2004 Toyota Camry. It's got some body damage. Like, that's not just not going to happen. So we're going to push that off. And now that I'm thinking about it, and I'm glad that I'm reviewing this, I probably need to add in some additional for transportation in case I go down to Philly. I'm also taking a work trip. Our annual company retreat is this month, but last year when I went on the retreat, I only spent about like $30 or $40, and that was at the airport. No, I lie. I spent $20, and that was at the airport. So if I want to take something out of my personal care money, that's where it'll come from. But I do need to allocate additional money for things like tolls. So I'm going to put an additional $50 in transportation, and just call that transportation, not car expenses. So that's that. And again, I'm glad I'm reviewing this. So totals pretty much stay the same. I have formulas built into this Excel sheet, so that's good. I'm going to take this off and make that just a plain white. And let's see where we are. So our total for ad hoc during the month is 500, which brings our grand total of expenses to 3,419. And if I subtract that from my anticipated income, I get 531. This is the thing. I can plan to take that 531 and allocate, what is that, like $265.50 to debt to pay off additional on the student loan and additional to savings. So the same thing. 50 there. So my current balance for this month, oh, it was so painful. It was like I'm at like 1410. I had so badly wanted to be in the 13s, but it will come. So my current balance going into May is 1410, and I'm hoping I can knock that down a little bit by the end of May. So for my May wrap up, I'm hoping to bring that down. So that's where I am for my May budget preview. And this is the month I am going to give myself a challenge to stick as closely to the budget as I can. To my spending plan as I possibly can, and I haven't really decided if there's going to be like an incentive at the end. If I think of something that's like under $30 that I want, that if I have less than if I manage to actually put this amount toward my student loans, the additional amount of like $265 to my student loans, that would be great. And I can allocate that. That'd be fantastic. without moving any money from savings, then I don't know, I'll think of an incentive for that. So I also wanted to show you two additional things that I keep in my my sort of budget planning, my spending plan planning. So I have what I call a spending plan by pay period. This is similar to like a paycheck to paycheck budget, although I hate that term because it makes me think of poverty and only living paycheck to paycheck. So what I do for the month, I have, and I don't, forgive me if you're not like an Excel person, I wasn't until I had to learn for my job, and now I am in love with Excel. So this is what I do to kind of help me plan out my pay period spending. So I'm starting the month with $285 in the account. I know that I have my water bill coming out, $32, and then I don't actually have any immediate savings coming. But see, this is what this allows me to do, is if I had put my tithe in on the first, and I only have $285, and my tithe is $300 and I have water, you can see I'm going to end up being overdrawn. So I don't want to do that. I want to take the tithe out from the first, so erase that entirely. And I want to move the tithe to after I get my first paycheck for the month. So I want to put that for the 6th. I get paid on the 3rd, I want to move that to the 6th. So what I've done here is I've put my paycheck, the paychecks that I get, color that there, and the dates that I get paid. So down here, right here, is the date that I get paid. So these are all days of the month. And putting in my paycheck dates like this lets me see and also be able to add down to see how much I'll have. I will do that later. So you can see I get paid on the 3rd, the 10th, actually, let me do this, the 3rd, the 10th, the 18th, I lied, the 17th, and the 21st, and I believe there is another paycheck. This is a 5-paycheck month, I believe, which is good. 21st and the 28th. So, do not get paid on the 17th. I get paid on the, let me see, 10, yep, 17. 1, 22, 23, 23rd, and the 30th. Okay. Whew. We'll just leave that there. Like I'll fix it later. I just copied and pasted from last month, so. Anyway, what that allows me to do is to sum down and see how much I'll have in my account at any specific point, and also lets me know when I can withdraw cash for my cash envelopes, which I'm going to do kind of on a weekly basis. Let me know if you want to see more of that. I know people like watching cash envelopes be stuffed. Mine aren't going to be super special because there's not going to be a lot in them. There's going to be a max of like $300 for the month. So that's how I keep track of my paychecks so I don't overdraw my account, and the bills and the variable expenses that I can that I allocate. Then I also have a daily spending sheet, and this is where I enter each day what I spend. And every single expense that I make, I pretty much put in here. If it's under $10, I'll kind of let myself slide, but aside from that, every single amount that I spend, I keep track of in here. And that has been tremendously helpful and gives me a ton of clarity, and I really like doing that. So that's something that's also been really helpful to me. So that is my May budget preview. This is also the last day of Vlog Every Day in April. Again, thank you so much for watching. It's been so much fun to interact with you, and I can't wait to go into May and see what that month has in store. So thank you again for watching, and I hope that you will keep watching. Bye.